to the Progress Report. We're here for Black Authenticity Part B, for Black. And we're back with Dax-Devlon Ross, author of Beat of a Different Drum, Nightmare in the Dream, The Underdog Manifesto, a whole bunch of books. Now Dax is, in addition to being a lawyer, an acclaimed author, facilitator, and all-around nice guy. So you would imagine in the dead of winter, who would I want to walk around Bed-Stuy with? Dax. So one of the things I like about Bed-Stuy is that you can have a place like Butcher's Pizzeria,
right,
and there's Malcolm X, and it's all big and loud and all of that. And then there's also these quieter blocks, right? I thought it was really important that if you're gonna go to Bed-Stuy, you have to go to this one particular block on the corner of Lewis and Decatur. What makes it so fabulous, besides it's right around the corner from my house, is that this is a strip that's got a lot of Black-owned businesses. You've got an art gallery, a cafe, a bookstore, and a restaurant. I mean, this is a particularly Black block. That's why I like it. Just thinking about Black authenticity in class, you know, what is this, what do you see when you see these types of businesses and establishments? It feels a little different than Butcher's place.
Yeah.
Vibe.
Well, I think that, you know, if you want to have a fully integrated Black neighborhood community, you have to have stuff that everybody likes and wants and needs.
For example, I want 50-cent coffee, but I might need a fresh baked goodie.
I think it's absolutely essential to have this here, to have a bookshop here, a book place, and I know a lot of the
You want a bookshop because you're a writer.
Absolutely.
I like the realness of Malcolm X Boulevard. Here, you can have that Sunday coffee. At the place here, they, you know, they have chess for kids and all of that.
Yeah.
And I wonder what it would mean for the world to really come together. Because I felt like I was being, I'm gonna be honest, I felt like I was being a little bit bougie when I couldn't get a latte.
To me, this idea of Black authenticity has definitely transformed a tremendous amount over the last 25, 30 years. Mm-hmm. Our generation being kind of a bridge generation.
Right.
And by that I mean that, you know, we can relate to that experience over at Butcher's, but then we can also relate to that because our educational experiences, a lot of our experiences with the people that we interact with, I wrote
most of my dissertation in a cafe.
Right.
You see, we're that generation that is old enough to know that you're supposed to be kind to your elders. When it's time for a family meal, you fix the elders the plate first. You don't just knock them over to get grubbing. But we're young enough that we have fancy phones and the internet, and we can make exciting videos to put up on YouTube. For a long time, I felt like Blackness was defined by the underclass, if you will.
Right.
Like, you know, especially in grad school.
Right.
It's like, oh, you have to be poor. It has to be Good Times and not Cosby Show.
Right.
But what we know to be true is that it takes people with money to uplift our community.
Right.
We have to have those multiple income levels.
Right.
So I want to see a neighborhood that if there are this Black many people walking through it,
right,
we should own the bodegas. We should own the coffee shops. We should own the restaurants.
But then that only presupposes the idea that money that's being made by the owners is being recycled in the community, and you don't know that.
But if your business is here, you are.
But that doesn't mean you live here. I might own a business here and live over in, you know, live in Manhattan on the Upper East Side and just come here.
Whatever it means for you to make that money, and even if you choose to live someplace else, just as we said, the fact that business exists, I want to know that I trust that whatever you're doing with that money, as a Black person, even if you're just helping yourself for a little while, that means you're helping a Black person. I would love it if you lived in the neighborhood too. Right. I would love it if you had those connections. But for now, I will take you owning, distributing, make sure you're employing people from the neighborhood. Are you employing that 16-year-old that you know needs a job? And are you paying him a fair wage? I don't mean fair like he should be happy he has a job. I mean fair like he's gonna work for you and not for somebody else, if you know what I mean.
I just feel like in 2010, I've had enough experiences to know, and I think part of it is that I feel like I've been personally wounded as a Black author. You know, in the sense that as somebody who has consistently created what I believe to be quality work, it is not often supported by Black people. It is supported by white people. I do readings, the people who come out, people who buy the book. So to me, it really is about, are you creating quality product and are you supporting the product? I'm not necessarily as concerned with who owns that means, because I think most of us have been educated and socialized in the capitalist structure, which says that I as the owner am going to feel like I'm more entitled to you as the worker, and that necessarily has nothing to do with race. whether I'm a black person who owns it or a white person who owns it, whoever else in between, I'm going to enact pretty much the same means of co-opting your labor for a value that's less than probably what it's worth.
Okay. All right. You wait till this truck goes by. You wait till this truck goes by. I know we gotta stop, but I just gotta make this one point. Okay. No, it's cool. It's cool. I hear you. So Dax asked the question, are you making a quality product? I kind of have to agree with the brother. You shouldn't support somebody just because they're black. So you do have to put out something that's high quality. But you have to ask yourself, what does it mean to have high quality? Because some people say they have high quality when they put a label on it, but then the stuff falls apart. Now, I'm not naming names with clothing stores or whatever, but you remember back in the day when the Gap used to have good clothing? If you're gonna come out with a clothing line, make it last. That should be a hand-me-down. You know how we do? You have lots of kids so that you can hand the clothes down. If the clothes disintegrate before the next child's born, it's too soon. That shows a poor quality product. But when you find people who are making high quality products, no matter who they are, support them. Let them know that you appreciate them taking the time to give you something good.
It is so painful that I need to find some way to rationalize it. I need to find some way not to feel emotionally attached to something that is.
I think for me, the challenge with interrupting that worker-owner dynamic comes, I think there's a potential to interrupt that more when you take race off the table. Okay. In a particular kind of way. Because now I'm coming at you and, okay, you are a black owner, I'm a black worker. So now we actually can talk about that class issue in a different kind of way, because I don't know how much, if I have a white boss and I feel like I'm not being treated well, I don't know how much of that I feel like is about race and how much of it is about class. I just know I have some feelings. Now, some people say they support black businesses. Some folks say I really want to support those brothers and sisters. But what you're really supporting is a hookup. Can you please stop asking people for hookups? You can't get a hookup. Matter of fact, what you can get is a job and pay full price for whatever it is I'm trying to sell. You don't go into the store asking Nike for a hookup, do you? Do you ask Puffy for a hookup? Nuh-uh. You buy all that stuff. Of course, you might get Puffy stuff off the back of the truck, but I digress. Anyway, when you're talking about black-owned businesses, it's really about giving of yourself, your time, and your money. And Dax and I had a little bit to say about that.
I want to say this. To me, and I think this is actually coming out of the conversations, I think what you're saying is very valuable. I would like to see, and hopefully that a place like this, you know, any of these places, what they do is that they're conscious of who's not being served, who's not coming through their doors, and asking themselves, why are people who live in this neighborhood not coming through these doors? Do they feel as though they're not welcome here? Are prices so high that they don't feel they can come get a meal here? And what can I do as the owner of this business to make that a little different? So maybe once a week or once every month, I might have a price special on a Sunday afternoon or on a Tuesday evening, so that I can have a cheaper dinner menu that people can come in and they can actually experience this. That's when it's really a part of the neighborhood. It's not just something exotic or some fetishistic kind of experience that only a few people in the neighborhood can actually have on a regular and consistent basis. So if there is something on these menus that I can walk in and be like, yo, I can afford it even though I'm 20 years old and me and my lady want to have a nice little dinner tonight and we can't do this on a regular basis. I want to know that that's all right, and that I can do that, and then I feel more invested in that. I would feel more invested in that as a part of this neighborhood.
I love this idea of the Tuesday night special. I mean, Dax broke it down. You only need one night to really welcome the community in. If you know a restaurant that you really want to go to more often, go ahead and suggest it to them. I appreciate the places that don't have bulletproof glass. It makes me feel more welcome. So support your black-owned businesses, learn about them, help them grow. It's how we're all gonna grow. It's time for Purposeful Plugs. Now, last month we had a whole bunch of blackness and womanness, and it was a fabulous time. This time we're gonna focus on the woman, but not stray too far from the black. Why? Because I'm black and a woman. Ain't I a woman? Yes, I am. So this month, I'm going to be particularly womanly at the Los Angeles Women's Theater Festival. This is the second time I've been able to go there. We're really, really excited. So we're gonna show some excerpts of Where My Girl's At, Los Angeles, anybody in California, Sunday, March 28th. Come on out, enjoy. Just a few days later, I'll be back in New York at NYU with Cheney Sims. Stop right now. Open up a new tab. Go ahead and Google it. Go ahead. I'll keep talking. You can hear me, but when you hear her music, pause me and then skip on over to her Cheney Sims. Woo! I'm trying to tell y'all something. Now here's the kicker. Hold on. It's free, y'all. Free. Remember we were talking about getting out of that debt? The way you can get out of debt, go to free shows, especially if you can see me and Cheney. It's gonna be fantastic. Wednesday, March 31st at 6 o'clock at NYU. Be there or be square. As always, check the website. And like I said, Facebook, Google, you see I'm excited. I mean, I love my stuff. Come to LA, come see me. But then on the 31st, see me and Cheney, because that's gonna be off the hizzy. And you know I don't say hizzy on the Progress Report.